Have you ever wondered if you need a professional headshot or if you should do a branding session with a professional photographer? Today, my friend Lauren Muttschall is going to unload all the goods on you. She's a paralegal executive legal assistant by day and photographer by night. What started as a hobby has turned into a lucrative side gig that she's super passionate about. Before we dive in, I'd like to share the review of the week. This review was left by 19 Denise 73, titled Episode 5. Allison has such great information on her episodes. Love how she explains everything so I will understand it. I look forward to every episode that she does. Thanks for all your help. Thank you, Denise, for leaving that wonderful review. Ladies, if you'd like me to read your review live on the show, pause the show now, head over to iTunes, and leave your review today. Hey there, Mom Boss. Welcome to the Social Media for Mompreneurs podcast. I'm Allison Scholes, brand strategist and lifestyle stock photographer. And yes, I'm that boss lady in sweatpants. If you're ready to fine-tune your personal brand, grow your business on social media, learn some really cool marketing hacks, all while balancing family life, then girl, you're in the right spot. And please don't be shy. You can connect with me over at bossladyinsweatpants.com. If you're ready for today's show, go ahead and hand out the kids' tablets, open those juice boxes, grab your coffee, and hide in your closet. It's time to dive in. My special guest is here to give you all the goods when it comes to branded photography. Welcome, Lauren.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here. But before we dive into branded photography, I'd like you to introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us what your business is.
So my name is Lauren. I am a photographer from the southwest suburbs of Chicago. I do photography anywhere in the Chicagoland area. I love helping people like Allison brand their business, create a recognizable face for themselves, and get their product and word out there.
And Lauren, you do such a great job. And for our listeners, if you don't know, Lauren is actually my photographer, and she does all of my branded photography. And actually what's crazy is the picture of me for the artwork for this podcast was done by Lauren. So just goes to show that she knows what she is doing. So let's dive into our topic today. And I'm sure that a lot of women listening probably wonder or even think that branded photography isn't necessary. So I know you think it is. I definitely think it is. So let's maybe take a step back. And Lauren, can you maybe tell our audience what exactly is a branding photography session? Like, what is it?
Sure. So a branded photography session is really a session that focuses on you and your brand, your product, whatever it is that you are providing to your network. So like, for instance, with you, Allison, it's a session that focuses on what you bring to the table for all of the wonderful mom bosses out there. So we do sessions that show you as a woman, you are a mom, you are doing it all. You get comfy in some cute pajamas that say that you're a mom boss, but then we also go outside and we take pictures of you with your camera because you do awesome flat lays. So it really just is an opportunity to show people who you are and what you do visually.
I love how you said show who you are, because I think a lot of times, like a branded photo session, people get nervous and they think, I have to look my absolute best. I have to spend $300 on an outfit. And I mean, yes, you want to look your best, but you want to be you. So I think it's important for our listeners to understand that that branded photography session is really just your opportunity to pull out your personality traits. And
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, and I think too, before you go into a session, you have to really define your personal brand. Like, what do you want to be known for, and define your own personality traits? Because let me tell you, a photographer isn't going to know that. Like, they're not just going to meet you on the first day and know exactly who you are and, you know, what you need. So I guess that's my next question is, why should a business owner or an entrepreneur do a branding session with a professional photographer?
Anyone can sell any product, any service, anything. The problem is there's a million people that offer the exact same thing. And what's going to make you stand apart is the fact that people get to know you and who you are, and you get to put your personality and your skills into the session. So for me personally, a million other photographers in my area, they're all phenomenal. And instead of looking at them as competition, it's, okay, what do I bring to the table? And for me, it's, I can connect with people on a different level. And that's what I want other people to see. Like for Allison, I want people to see that about you. And it's just, it's important that people know you. They know all of the fun little quirks. And, you know, if you haven't personally seen Allison, she always has a really fun pair of earrings on in all of her pictures. And that's just part of her personality. And so when you're looking for someone that does something, things like that stick out in your mind. And so, you know, it's like one of those things where you just, something, a characteristic about someone is going to stick out to you. And for me, Allison always has awesome earrings, and I'm boring. I always have studs. So for me, my earrings are never memorable. Seeing Allison, she always has great earrings. In her pictures, that always comes across. That is just part of her personality. Fun shirts with sayings. It's all her personality coming out, coming through in her photos that show what she is providing. I can go to anyone else on the internet, and if they look like a corporate company, you know, I like dealing with people. I'm a people person, and I want to know that who I'm dealing with is real and is a human. And I like to connect on a deeper level, because that's what you want to do with your client base. You need to connect on a personal and emotional level, and visually, people want to see who they're connecting with. It goes so far beyond any sort of product or service. It goes about who they're dealing with. And that's, you know, that's a huge part of the branding photography package. It's just, you need to put a face to everything and a personality.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I also think it's important that branding photography for me is important to showcase that I care about my business and I take my business seriously. If you were to compare two people someone who has branded photography mixed in with whatever they offer compared to someone who just has selfies like in their car or in the bathroom, like who are you going to take seriously? Like you want to be seen as like that authority or that expert. And I'm not, no, to me, no one's really like truly an expert, but you are seen as like an authority in your niche. So I also think that's really important too, to do the branding photography.
I agree. And the other thing it does is, anyone can pull a stock photo from the internet. That's great. There's 500 other people doing the exact same thing with the exact same picture, but your face,
absolutely,
in your branding and your product, that makes all the difference.
Yes. Now here's my next question when we do branded photography, because a lot of women might be listening and they may think, I don't have a well-established or a large business. So do you think whatever size business you have, does that play a role as far as branded photography, or do you think everyone should do it?
To be honest, I think everyone should do it. I think a branding session could really set you apart from anyone else, and that'll help your business grow. People don't want to connect with a screen or a stock photo or someone's website. They want to connect with another person. And I think that when you add the personal element to your brand, which you do with the branding shoots, I think when you add that personal element, it really takes your business to the next level. Perhaps you just want a small business that stays where it's at. You're not looking to grow. maybe that's fine. But if you're looking to make something out of your business, if you're looking to connect with more people, to make a difference in more people's lives, you really need to show the human side. And you do that with the branding sessions because you pull yourself in. So I really think that no matter the size of your business, you don't have to do a full branding session. Me and Allison, we get kind of goofy sometimes, and we're like, well, let's do this and let's do that. And, we do all of the ideas, and that's one type of session. But if you're like, you know what, I am just starting out, we can definitely, you tailor your session to your needs, to the company, to the individual. And I think that branding is so important for anyone, regardless of the size of the company.
Now, what would you say to someone who's listening and they're like, I want to do this. I want to find a photographer, wherever they are, but their budget just won't allow it because, photographers, price range all over the board, but they can get really pricey. So what would you say to someone who wants to do this, but they just don't have the budget to do it?
I get it. Photography can be crazy expensive.
Yes.
I get it. I do think it's important. If your business is important to you, you need to make a branding session important to your business. So, if you need to save little by little, I would do it that way. Or if you just want to start off with something small, do a small session, perhaps a headshot, a couple of photos of you in your element showing what service or product you provide. I think you just need to start somewhere. And that's the big thing. Everyone starts somewhere. You just need to start somewhere. And if it's small and you can only afford a 15-minute session and you go boom, 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 get it done real quick, that's what you do. Everyone starts somewhere, and that is a great place to build on, because then as your business grows, you can do future sessions and you can build on the photos and the branding that you already have. I don't think you ever lose that. I think you just keep building.
And you know what? You can get a lot out of a 15-minute session. I think you and I did like a 30-minute session, and I couldn't believe the amount of photos that came just from that short session. So yeah. And you know what else? I tell people too, if you're so nervous to invest the money, go on Facebook and put out there that you're looking for a local photographer, possibly willing to trade services. So that way you're starting a relationship and you're collaborating with them, and you are helping them by giving them your products or services. So that's another way that our listeners can do it. And that's how to get the ball rolling and get started. Now, what do you think someone should look in for a photographer? Like, what qualities make a good branding photographer, in your opinion?
For me, I think a lot of it is personal. I don't think that you're certainly on paper, if someone looks good, they're probably good. A lot of it is personal. It's personality. How do you mesh with that person? Do they understand your vision? This is so important because you need this person to understand what you're trying to convey. And do they get your mission? Do they understand the emotion that you want people to feel when they see your pictures? Do they get it? Do you click? I think that it's huge on a personal level, more so than it is even sometimes on a skill level. It's huge to personally connect and have that mutual understanding. This is the goal. This is what I want people to feel. These are my ideas. Can we make it work? You can work with someone who is the most talented photographer in the area, but if they've got a personality like cardboard and aren't understanding, right? And if they aren't understanding your vision, that's such a waste. People are going to look at your photos and they're going to say, okay. You need someone that really understands the goal and is willing to try whatever and to get in there and say, let's try this. You just have to find someone that's willing to run with it.
Yeah, I agree, because you definitely don't want to show up to a branding shoot and, like you said, they have the personality of cardboard. And then it's hard on the client because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to stand or where to put their hands or how to turn their head. And then if you're not vibing with the photographer, like you said, it's wasted time for you and the photographer.
Of course. And it's nerve-wracking for whoever is on the other side of the camera anyway. I mean, there's a camera in their face and they need to be comfortable. So there's got to be some personality there.
Right. And add a little music in there. I know that's what we do. Have a little background music.
Dancing. Yeah, whatever.
So how does someone even begin to prepare for, like, let's say they're doing it, they booked it, but now they need to prepare for the actual session. So what advice would you give someone who's going to show up at your session?
So the holy moly, now what?
Yes.
So I think it's really important before anyone has any sort of branding session, they need to figure out what they're looking for, what they want their brand to represent, whether it be a service or just a product. You need to figure out what you want people to feel, what you want them to think. And I think that is really the first part, and that it kind of just trails from there. You know, I know, Allison, you like to be relatable, fun, and even if you need to look online for inspiration, that's fine, because what you do is you take that inspiration that you may find online somewhere and you make it and you tailor it towards you. And so I think it's just really important to understand what you're looking to accomplish, what you want people to think about you. And then we kind of make it happen. It's also important, once you start to figure that out, to discuss it with your photographer too, or whoever is helping you with that branding session, because they may have some other ideas about how to make that happen, how to make that come through in the pictures. So it's a collaboration. It's, this is how I want people to feel. How do I make that happen? This is what I want them to think when they see my pictures. What do we do? So I think it's really just, what are you looking to portray? How do you want to set yourself apart? And then you roll with it.
And I love how you said, how do you want to make people feel? And I really think that's what really makes your branded photography stand out, because it's almost like you're telling a story with just that one photo. Or even if you have several photos within your grid on Instagram and people start to scroll your grid and they see all these different photos of you in different poses, they really start to have a feeling about who you are. So I love that you said feeling, because you nailed it on that one. And ladies, Pinterest will be your best friend. When you're about to go into a session and you have all these ideas of what, kind of like how you want it to look like. I'm very visual. I have a hard time just describing what I want. So I'll go on Pinterest and I'll save all these photos to my phone. And I've shown them to Lauren, like, I want to do something like this. I want to do something like that.
Of course. Yeah. And it really comes through because, we talk about it. I know what you're trying to do. You give me an example. We tweak it so that it meshes with your personality, so that your personality shines, because these photos end up being a direct representation of you and your product and your company and what you're trying to portray. So yeah, definitely.
Awesome. I think that was a load of information for our listeners. So thank you, Lauren. And before we sign off, can you please tell our listeners where they can connect with you?
Of course. So I have a website. It's lchristinephotography.com, and I'll spell it. I know there's all sorts of different ways of spelling names. It's www.lchristiene and then the word photography.com. I also have a Facebook page, L. Christine Photography. I have an Instagram. If you would like to email me, my email is info@lchristinephotography.com.
And I will make sure that all of your information is in the show notes. But a quick sidebar, because a lot of people are listening and go, her name's Lauren, but the name Christine. Is that your middle name?
Sure is. And so here's a funny story. My dad, I don't know if he prefers my middle name over my first name, maybe, because he often just calls me Christine.
Oh,
So
this is hilarious.
yeah, so it's funny. I show up to shoots and people are like, "Oh, is it Lauren or is it Christine? Because I've been calling you Christine and you've still been answering." And so I always, tell people I answer to both because people call me both.
Oh, that is so funny. I love how
Yeah.
your dad inspired your business name. Like,
Oh, for sure.
that is awesome. So,
Yeah.
well,
Definitely.
thank you so much again, Lauren. This was awesome, and I can't wait to have you on again soon.
Yay.
All right. Thanks again. Until next time. Thank you for tuning in today. If you loved today's episode and walked away with value, then please head over to iTunes, social media for mompreneurs, and leave a review and subscribe to the channel. This would make my day. And don't forget to connect with me on Instagram at Allison Scholes or grab some freebies over at bossladyandsweatpants.com. Take care. I'll see you next time.